All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to move on to the walk-ons. First up in the exhibition category, it's Hitan and Silver Valkyrie as Samurai Link and Empress Zelda from The Legend of Zelda. Kaya as female Joker from Batman. Next up, Kate Konoha as Dragon Trainer Lulu from League of Legends. Wait, she's flown away. Surprise. Instead, we've got Javion Harris and Company as TT-56 from RoboCop, Chitara from Kamen Rider Double, and Goku from Dragon Ball Z. First up, the TT-56 from RoboCop. He's only half the man he used to be. It's Andro Chicotel as Marco from Attack on Titan. Next up, in the novice category, it's Samantha as Elsa from Frozen. Next up, Chamomile as Anna from Frozen. Next up, it's Lauren Dredge as Odette from the Swan Princess. Next up, Shuteki Go cosplay as Koen, Kome, Koha, and Kosyoku from Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic. Next up, Anne Warner as Anastasia Romanoff from Shadow Hearts 2 Covenant. Next up, L2S cosplay as Ragnar Kuryuin and Nui Harime from Kill La Kill. Don't forget the little heart piece. If you want to take that. Next up, Japanicana 83 as Elsa from Frozen. Next up, April as Yvettle from Pokemon Y. Next up, Selfina Mortal as Tama from Selector Infected Wixus. Next up, Shonen Jedi as Kyoko Sakura from Madoka Magica. Next up, back of Beyond cosplay as Walpurgis Nox from Madoka Magica. as Hector and Lindis from Fire Emblem Blazing Sword. Hector, don't forget your shield. Hector. Me as a shield guy. Next up, whoa. Next up, Sonora Roberts as Queen Amidala from Star Wars. Next up, Allison and Leah as Pokemon trainer Caleb and Fritzy. Next up, Inoue Yurizahi from Guilty Crown. Next up, Olivia Judd as Bunny Belza from Final Fantasy 13. Next up, Juanita as Kiki from Kiki's Delivery Service. Next up is Puppy Cat, Catbug, and Grumpy Cat from Bee and Puppy Cat, the Bravest Warriors, and Grumpy Cat. Next up, Shannon DeFer as Chunky, the Carnivore from the Cruise. This is also technically our first Nicolas Cage cosplay. Next up, Link and Zelda from The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Next up, Amanda Bliss as Citra from Far Cry 3. Next up, the Electric Rainbow cosplay as Madoka, Sayaka, Nami, Kyoko, and Hamura from Madoka Magica! Next up, Brooke and Daryl as Eliza and Alvin from Tales of Celia. Next up, Onion and Company as Steve, Twilight Sparkle, and Raven from Chobits, My Little Pony, and Mortal Kombat. Next up, Lorana Hall as Aircraft Carrier Woe Class from Kantai Collection. Next up, Lauren as Anna from Frozen. Next up, Artemis as Lightning from Final Fantasy 13. Next up, Scythe Fatario as Lucifer from the Seven Deadly Sins.
I am not picking up for anyone unless it's you. I shut out. What's that say? There's a summertime spell that
Next up, Katie Horner as Princess Aurora from Disney's Sleeping Beauty. Next up, Michael Maines from Cowboy Bebop. Next up, Team 5Ds. Amanda as Yusai Fudo and Moni as Jack Atlas from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Next up, it's Maleficent! Next up, it's Azir from League of Legends! Next up, it's Brooke Shepard as Vulpix from the Pokemon trading card game. Next up, it's Poke as Saber from Fate Zero. Let's the Masquerade cosplay as Lydia Carlton from the Earl of the Fairy.
Would it be so hard if you finally took it off, running through the street like a maniac?
Next up, Ducati as Remilia Scarlet from Tohovania.
Maybe show a little skin, let somebody see you to the bone. The bone.
Next up, Usagi no Senshi as Israel von Einberg from Fate Zero. Next up, Rebel cosplay as Yase from Kyoso Giga. Next up, Vicious cosplay as Princess Zelda from The Legend of Zelda. Next up, it's Anna Hayes and Alison Vargas as Yoshino and Toka from Data Live. Walkons. It's Halloween Town Sora, Kyrie, and Roxas from Kingdom Hearts. Next up, the Mirror of Truth has shattered. It's Dark Pit from Kid Icarus Uprising and Super Smash Brothers. Next up, it's Kon Pocoyo from Toho. Next up, Fem Sora from Kingdom Hearts 2. Next up, it's Yuki Kono from Sword Art Online. Next up, First Fantasy Costuming as Rita Repulsa from Power Rangers. Oh God, it's Escape! It's the Psycho Bandit from Borderlands 2! Next up, it's Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Next up, Aoi from the Gazette. Next up, I hope you brought food. It's Tao Kaka from Blaze Blue. Next up, it's Lulu from Final Fantasy X. It's wacky wacky time. It's still Momo from Showbiz. would be terrifying.